inflation is under control, but grocery prices are going up everywhere. And that's bad news for Americans still struggling in this economy, and also for millions of people around the world which are right at the edge of poverty. Charlene Israel explores what's driving the price of food sky high.
Like most moms, Tori Jones does her best to keep food in her kitchen cabinets.
It's been hard. It's been really hard. We just try to cut back when we can.
She and her husband Eric say rising food prices, coupled with higher prices at the pump, are putting a strain on the family's food budget.
A few items that we expect to be like $20 or $30 will be double that.
Their monthly grocery bill has shot up dramatically.
Normally $300 to $400, and now easily $4 to $5.
In February, food prices jumped 3.9%, the biggest one-month jump since November 1974.
This is the agriculture futures trading floor at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, where traders negotiate world commodity prices, including grains like corn and wheat. What happens here will help to determine just how much consumers will pay for things like cereal and bread.
Chris Manns is with the Traders Group in Chicago.
That box of cornflakes or that box of whatever, loaf of bread, they can now say, well, look, here, much like the gasoline stations, we have this problem. We need to increase our prices.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture says the global demand for food has pushed U.S. corn supplies to their lowest levels in 15 years. In just the past 6 months, corn prices have nearly doubled, from $3.50 a bushel to nearly $7. Corn affects most food products in stores. It's used to feed cattle, hogs, and chickens that fill the meat aisles. It also sweetens most soft drinks and many other foods.
It's as tight as it's ever been. So any slight twitch or hiccup as far as any side of it goes, and you'll eventually have a price spike.
Economists list several reasons for the higher prices, like recent extreme weather patterns. Here in the U.S.,
it was just been weather problems everywhere. We're at a low level. We're not about to run out of corn, but the carryover is getting down to where we need a good crop this coming year.
Freezing temperatures across southern states sent vegetable prices soaring. 70 to 75% of some lettuce crops were damaged. The result? Higher prices for the produce. One school district had to suspend salad service 4 out of 5 days of the week because they couldn't afford the higher price just for the lettuce.
$51 a case for romaine. That's very expensive.
Texas is the biggest producer of cattle in the country and turns out the second largest winter wheat crop. The state is experiencing its worst drought in 44 years. Much of its wheat crops have been damaged, forcing ranchers to reduce cattle herds. Dry weather from Oklahoma to Colorado may cut crop yields in the U.S. The weather problems aren't limited to the U.S. In Russia, the worst drought in half a century has devastated wheat crops. Australia is known for producing a lot of meat, but record floods have hurt output and sent global food prices soaring. In China, the worst drought in 60 years is threatening the wheat crops, although the Chinese government does not admit that there's any food supply problem. Rising food prices have had political implications too. Rising prices for corn, rice, and wheat back in 2008 sparked riots from Haiti to Egypt. And earlier this year, there were food riots in Tunisia, and unrest toppled leaders in Egypt, the world's largest wheat importer. Many protested dramatic price hikes for basic food staples, such as rice, cereal, cooking oil, and sugar.
In 2008, food riots erupted in 30 countries. In 2011, rising food prices combined with rising unemployment have also sparked riots and political unrest.
But there's more to rising food prices than just weather. Dr. Robert Thompson of the Chicago Council on Global Affairs says the rising global population also contributes to food shortages.
We have to feed 78 million more people each year. We've had expansion of the middle class in Asia. That means the demand for food is growing really fast.
A demand that's growing faster than supply.
I project the demand for food will double in the world in the next 40 years. And with only 10% more land to grow it on and less water available to the world's farmers, I think we're likely to see continued long-term upward trend in commodity prices.
So it looks like higher food prices will be with us for a while.
I think that the era of cheap food prices is over. Meat prices are going to go up, and corn prices are probably going to stay up for at least the next 2 to 3 years.
That has some turning to planting their own food. And families like the Joneses keep looking for ways to make ends meet.
I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I might actually have to get a job, and maybe we depend on family members to help watch the kids if things continue to get out of hand.
Charlene Israel, CBN News.